Chapter 9, City of Light. You have just entered Elhalas, Nefar's stronghold in the world below, after defeating and allying with the Winged Warrior. A steady rain falls around you, despite the light emanating from the palace, and you look up to see a suspended river in the cause. Do you think she knows we're coming? I think she has to know. I mean, she already knew we were coming here, and once the Winged Warrior misses its check-in... It depends on how long she expected your journey to take. So it seems Nephara's low opinion of us may prove to be a benefit. Obviously, Violet. Why do you think I cultivate a low opinion from nearly everyone? I wasn't aware that you were doing that on purpose. Whether she knows it or not, it doesn't change what we're here to do. Wallace gives you a little determined wiggle. See, Wallace gets it. What can you tell us about the Resistance, Bakshi? Maybe we should keep our voices down, Nia. The Resistance moves bases frequently to avoid detection, and I have been out of the city too long in pursuit of you for my information to be current. We will need to find a contact. You don't have a system of code words to fall back on? I am afraid that the persuasiveness of Nephara makes its appeal quite limited compared with the world above. It is far easier to obtain a password than when a suspect can be tortured indefinitely. So, I guess we just have to look around for someone paranoid, but like our kind of paranoid. It's a very specific kind, it's true. You'll cast a discerning eye over the crush of humans around you, but the longer you watch, the more unease grows in your belly. Does anyone else find it strange that Nephara didn't send the twins? I suspect after their previous failure, Nephara does not trust them with such a task. Besides, the twins are not exactly suited for urban warfare. Too much collateral damage, and Nephara is protective of her city. I'm more surprised we haven't seen any elves. If this is where light worshippers end up, it should be filled with them. That's because they are in an inner district of the city, the Ring of Dawn, where only Nephara's chosen are allowed. We are currently in the Ring of Dusk, which holds everyone else, humans mostly, but there's an errant orc or two, a few self-hating dwarves. And the two districts never interact? Why am I not surprised? Those who worship the light do like their divisions, though I admit this place is far nicer than where I grew up. That's all a facade, Valix. Take a closer look at the alleys, back streets, and you'll see these are still slums. Nephara always wanted her city to appear pristine, but that is difficult to do when the place also takes on the memories of those it holds. The idea that you would choose to live like that. Oh, there's no choice, little prince. They do it without meaning to, filling in the edges of an incomplete painting. I had hoped that this place would not mimic the cruel beliefs of the living. Perhaps it is meant to be this way. It is her world, after all. Hey. We can change it. Can we? Can you change something so deeply corrupted? Look at our friends, Nia. How much they've changed since we met. How much you've changed. But these things take time. Most things that are worth doing do. She is right, priestess. Bakshi places both of their hands on Nia's shoulders. The world below, just like the world above, is what we make of it. It is not meant to be this way. It is because so many believe it should be. So, beliefs can change, and when they do, so will this place. I hope so. As heartwarming as this crisis of faith is, I believe we've attracted some unwanted attention. You take a cautious look around the street, noticing a group of hooded people following behind you at a distance. Bakshi, friends of yours? Most certainly not. Then I'll Stall them. You narrow your eyes and take in the hooded figures, imagining how each of their heads would rattle if you punched them right in the face. They grab their heads dazed, and you take the opportunity to lead your party into an alley and out of sight. Times like these, I'm really glad you're on our side, Landrad. What, you're not a fan of headaches? I suspect that will not stop them for long. A change in apparel may make this journey a good deal easier, Rain. Z leads you through the back alley to a shop, where a set of stunning mage robes is displayed in the window. While I have no doubt Rain could pull those off, they seem particularly noticeable, do they not? The point is not to lie low, as that would be impossible with a group such as yours. The point is to look like you belong, and to be seen so powerful that people will be nervous to look you in the eye. Ah, like Violet. There is something to be said for ensuring you command respect wherever you go, especially given we're in enemy territory. You have to admit, Mallet does work for her. They even seem to have some kind of enchantment weaved into them. It's a protective ward. It would certainly come in handy for when we inevitably wind up in a scrap. What can I say? Excellent. I shall acquire them now. Z ducks in the shop while you don't see any money changing hands. Z returns with the robes. Did they just give them to you? I am a god, my dear, though I did insist on compensating them with some magic of my own. Bakshi thrusts the ropes into your hands, and you quickly duck away from your friends in order to pull on the soft and sumptuous fabric. You wore the Elhalas mage outfit. Well, what do you think? You look like the battle mage from my favorite book, Rain. I think I know which one you mean, Nia, though in this case my imagination has nothing on reality. Why are we talking about books when Rain looks like this? Imdora's right. You look ready to command a legion of soldiers. I'll take that as a compliment. I do not have the words to describe how resplendent you look. I can't say I'm surprised your brain melted a little elf boy. In that, well, you're liable to melt everything, Rain. You make your way to a small stall on the side of the street where warm spices perfume the air. The merchant bows their head in deference. What can I do for you, my lady? We're looking for some people, and we were hoping you could point us in the right direction. We're seeking those who are free in mind and spirit. Oh, I don't have anything to do with them. But given it must be important for someone like you to be seeking them out, I have heard they often congregate near the temple. That seems dangerous. It's the last place you'd expect them to be. Maybe that's why. Or maybe they're just looking for new recruits there. Your outfit got you information. Thank you, that's very helpful. Nia, where are you going? You turn to see Nia dashing across the square, where you're astounded to see Scholar Vash.
Ah, Rain. And I see Mal is still traveling with you, Nia.
I can't believe you're really here. There's so much I wanted to tell you. I mean, you haven't met Tyrrell or Imtora or...
I'm well aware of your heretic companions, Nia.
Nia looks like she's been slapped. What? What are you talking about? We stopped the Dreadlord, the invasion. Perhaps you didn't see everything.
I saw everything, my child. You lost your way from the temple. You were corrupted by shadow, and even now it continues to corrupt you.
That's not corruption. That's true magic. Light and shadow are meant to be together. That's how they used to be.
Is it what you believe now, Nia? I thought you so much better than that. You are so much better than that.
I did my best. Vash, screw your temple.
How dare you! The temple raised her, I raised her. Only because you took her from her family. That is a matter of safety.
Whose safety? Because it certainly wasn't Nia's. Not when you had her giving up her life force for you.
That was her duty.
Spoken like a true zealot.
I do not care about the opinions of a servant of Shadow. Why you are here and not rotting in the hells is beyond me.
You cannot truly believe the world is so simple.
Mortality has to be simple. If it isn't, it isn't mortality.
Oh, God. Mortality is... Is it more complex or is it simple? I mean, it is more complex, but it also could be simple. It is simple. You're on the wrong side of it. There's no justifying all the killing and cruelty done in the temple's name. Nia places her hand on your shoulder, her warmth of familiar comfort, then she steps between you and Scholar Vash. Answer me this one thing. Do you know about Solarin?
I did not. But when I was in searching for forces profaning our temple, I knew what it might require. There is a cost for every decision. But you know that. How many died because you refused to obey your queen and brought the realms down on top of each other?
I don't know who you are, but I will not allow you to speak to my friend that way. Yeah, Wallace about to peck your face off. It's all right, Valix. Let him say his piece.
I do not mean you harm, Nia. You were the best of the temple, so it hurt so much for you to misunderstand our teaching so quickly. But there is always time to repent. I've helped several members of the Resistance see the error of their ways.
You know the Resistance.
The fools asked me to join them.
Where are they?
No, I will not aid you in your misguided opposition to our queen.
Order. You glare at him, recalling the way back she spoke in battle as you let power fill your voice. Tell me. Now.
In the eastern part of the ring, there's a red door. How did you...
It's called growth. You should try it sometime.
Oh, Nia. How far you have strayed.
Nia looks like she's about to cry, but in an instant the Nia who ran away from the owlbear the night in Riverbend is gone, and she stares Vash down. You know what? I don't owe you anything. The temple hurt people. It made them afraid of anything different. It made me hate myself. That isn't what the light is. This isn't what you taught me the light is. Nia turns on her heel, back facing Vash. I'm going to tell everyone that you're wrong, and all you'll be able to do is watch. Before he can respond, she marches down the street, and you jog to catch up with her. As soon as you round a corner, she sits down against the building and begins to cry. You kneel beside her, taking her hand. Hey, it's okay, Nia. You did so great. I don't think I did. He's so upset. Everything you said was right, Nia. Everything. I'm so ungrateful. Nia, you're wonderful. You are so compassionate, appreciative, and understanding. If you can't see that, that's his problem. You've already done so much without him. You don't need him now. You're always so good to me, Rain. You tuck a strand of her hair that's fallen loose from her buns behind her ear, and she leans in your palm as you cup her cheek. You deserve all that and more. You help her get to her feet, and she quickly wipes away the last of her tears. Did you mean what you said to him about telling everyone the truth about the gods? Of course. People deserve to know. I hope people won't use that as an excuse to elevate me to the same status. And if that's what the temple, what it takes to reform the temple? I don't know. It's at that moment the rest of your party catches up to you, and Bakshi attentively steps forward. I do not mean to intrude, but perhaps it would be some comfort to you, priestess, that I am going through much of the same thing at the moment. Long ago, we old gods were just a family. Now they, the love of my life, all of them, they no longer understand me. How do you handle it? By believing that it will come around, by knowing that what I'm doing right now is helping those who are most in need. But perhaps some cultural context might help in understanding these situations. Bakshi waves their hand, and a stone tablet appears in it, which they hold out to you. This lore tablet is about Elhalas. Like some of the others you found, it also is written by me, but that was many decades ago. I recommend you read it with a grain of salt. History is written by the winners after all, and I do not see the world as I do now back then. Hang on, you wrote other tablets? They were just another way to help you along your journey when I still didn't want to interfere directly. If it's so biased, why not rewrite it? It can be difficult to look back at your work. Memory is often clouded with nostalgia. It is hard to recall what is reality when what is imagined. As it is, it should prove useful when it comes to moving through the city, as its beliefs no doubt echo many citizens. Lore tablet. Much reading. Let's go. Let's see what this has to say. I went to read, so we have 5 passages. Creation of Elhalas. The creation of Elhalas, the design of Elhalas, is derived from the ancient capital of the same name that existed many centuries ago before those now known as the Old Gods sacrificed themselves to save the world. Because of this, you will often see architecture and artistic motifs that a modern eye may identify as elven, but their true origin is far, far older. But this new version of the city didn't come into being until after the Old Gods arrived in the world below. Here, they were disappointed to discover that there were no paradise or reward waiting after all their hard work. Instead, they were met with the stagnant place, unworthy of the luminaries and heroes their culture had provided to the world. It was Nefara, the Queen of the Order and Beauty, who decided that the work must begin to make the place a worthy successor to the city they had left behind. She placed the finest replica of the great palace at the very heart of the would-be city, where all the rivers joined to pay tribute to their most august majesties. As the years passed, many came to dwell here, creating the perfect metropolis you see today. Is it really perfect if it's fake? Ring of Dawn. The inner district of the city, the Ring of Dawn, is so called is because it is bathed in the light of the palace of the gods. It is a district of eternal day, though it has also experiences near constant rain, thunderstorms as a result of the rivers that join just above the apex. Only the elves, old gods' creation, and most favored people are permitted to live in the Ring of the Dawn, which can be compared to the elven cities of Valen and Undermount in their golden age. Here, they enjoy traditional celebrations, feasting, drinking, singing, dueling. The dark clouds above the Ring of the Dawn are nearly consistently lit by the bright fireworks and floating candles, and new songs, poems, and even operas are often performed. You may ask yourself where the rest of the Ascendants are, since the old gods are only among them who dwell in the city. The simple answer is no one knows. By all accounts, the old gods expected to join an afterlife where they could see their fellows again, but that did not happen. Expeditions have ventured far outside the city looking for signs of the missing Ascendant, but nothing has yet been found. Some suggest that the missing chose to end their existences outright, but this is a controversial theory at best. The Ring of the Dusk. The outer district of the Ring of the Dusk is where all the less worthy light worshippers reside, human, dwarves, orcs, and many others. It is so called due to its distance from the Palace of Gods. While some light does reach it, the frequent rain and clouds often leave the streets dark. The two districts are divided by a series of gates and city's walls, which are patrolled by the Queen's constructs. It is very rare for even the most charitable elves to visit the Ring of Dusk, and there is no ingress allowed in the opposite direction. While the Ring of Dusk was originally just as beautiful as the rest of the city, the shape of the architecture has been heavily changed by the life experience of its occupants, who seek out the familiar no matter how dirty and depressing it may be. Many citizens of the Dusk may intend to seek better opportunities in the Ring of the Dawn, but the reality is there is no room for them there. The High Queen has made her policy clear: no Dusker will come through ever. Isn't that nice of her? Rivers that meet in the city. All the waters of the Undermount, or Underworld, from the River of Seekers to the white water of the Dwarven Wilds to the whirlpools of the Great Orcish Sea, flow into Elhalas. If one ventures to Elhalas from one of the other afterlives, the joining of the rivers is often the first thing they see. In some cases, these rivers seem to appear in midair, a rush of water suspended above everything else. Others seem to bend and weave as needed, defying gravity in one moment and then snaking along the ground another. But all of them come together in the Palace of the Gods. This is possible because of the work of the Midas, the goddess of magic, who valiantly bent their paths into the city when the old gods first arrived in the world below. Keeping rivers where they are requires a great degree of magic, but the benefit is even greater, as all these other lands' magic pools in what is sometimes called the Elhalas Basin. It is a collection of power that allows the citizens of the Ring of Dawn to live as the Ascendant once did. This state of preservation has always been the old god's greatest goal, and so it is said that the joining of the rivers is one of the greatest accomplishments. Nothing else! Yay, we have, probably one more tablet to go. Some people complain I read too fast. Did you want me to take my time reading what we just read? I'm serious. As you put the tablet in your bag for safekeeping, you turn to Bakshi. Does it ever get weird to write about yourself in the third person like that? No, actually. Third person is standard for our personal narratives. Though I detest Nefara's royal we, when more often than not, the thoughts expressed are purely her own. So, how much of the tablet did Nefara tell you to say? She rarely actually tells us to do anything. You must intuit her needs, or you will come to regret it. But the content is genuinely true. The framing is the issue, as it often is. The further off the main road you go, the more dilapidated the buildings become, and more the light from the palace fades. Guess you were right, Mel. This place is rougher shape than I realized. They do the same thing in White Tower. They keep the main streets pristine, so no one ever leaves and sees the reality. This makes for a good place to hide for just those reasons. Bakshi, are you sure you can trust these people? I am not sure I can trust anyone, Rain, but they hold my life in their hands as I hold theirs. It will have to be enough. I'm not a big fan of these odds lying around. Nothing we can do now but be ready. Spotting the red door, Bakshi walks up to it and knocks. After a few hushed whispers, the door swings open and Z gestures for you to follow in. Inside, you find a group of tall figures clustered together, talking with an elven woman. She looks up as you enter, only to gasp. Genvaler! Tyrell stands frozen as the woman rushes over to embrace him, only to sink into her arms when she reaches him. Kilma. That's Tyrell's mom? She lets go and cradles his face in both her hands, tears in her eyes. I saw you fall when you did not arrive. I feared the worst, but now you're here, my son, my little light. It is good to see you again. Everyone, this is my mother, Lady Serena of House Star Fury. You could have mentioned that she was the leader of the Resistance, Bakshi. I did not wish to spoil the reveal. It is funny, I feel like I know you already. Mal and his sprawling jokes, Nia and her sweet guidance, and Tora and her stalwart support. Ah, so this is where you get your poetry from, Mel, huh, elf boy? And I couldn't forget Valix. What you have done for your people is truly admirable, as it is the growth you've inspired in my son. If anything, he's the one who helped me grow. Ahem. You don't have to say anything about me, Lady Starfury. I'm not really a part of... I know all about the atonement, Aaron. I'm a battle mage for the very people I now stand against. You have a clear mind and a good heart. You are using them for the right reasons. That is what counts. Oh, thank you. She finally turns to you, a warm smile on her face that reminds you so much of Tyrell's. And of course, Rain. You have been so good to Tyrell these past few years. I cannot put my appreciation into words. But you must tell me everything that has happened since you arrived. We've been unable to see any of you. Well, do you know about your son and I? Listen, I'm sure she knows. Well, there was a fight with some gods. What? Yeah, Nithrix might have tracked us down in the Dwarven afterlife. We had no choice but to fight them. We had to flee the first time. The second battle was by no means a resounding defeat. I'm just relieved you were able to get away. Now, as much as I wish we could speak more, we have much to do, so I'm afraid that we'll have to wait. Can I introduce Rain and everyone to Kaya first? Is she going to be here soon? The candles flicker, and you can see pain flash across Serena's face. I'm so sorry, Genvalia. The curse the Shadow Court put on her in the catacombs, she was in so much pain when she got here. She stayed for some time to make sure you were all right, but after you defeated Xenia, she passed on. You can do that? She found the path I longed for. She asked me if I thought you would be upset if she left before you arrived. Please forgive me, but I said you would want her to be free of her suffering. And you were correct, Gilma. I only wish we'd had more time. You lean against him as you rub small circles into his back, hoping your presence is a comfort. I'm so sorry, Tyrell. I'd wish you'd gotten to see her again, and that I'd gotten to meet her. It seems not all dreams can come true. But it is a comfort that she knew I avenged her in the end. A woman in full battle armor steps forward. I'm so sorry for your loss, but we are grateful to have you on our side. I'm Alara. Wait, you're the Alara? I remember you from Cade's stories. Is Lord Zaus here too, then? She hangs her head. We have lost many to this war. It has been far more treacherous than the one I endured in the world above. Zeus died for our cause twice. He would call that a blessing. We are a small movement still, but we've made many powerful allies against Avara. When you agree, Arenia. What? Another figure emerges from the shadows. A human woman with brown eyes, soft wavy hair, and she's looking right at Aaron. Hello, Aaron. Mommy? Is it really? He approaches her slowly, cautiously, his eyes wide and watery, then all at once he nearly crushes her in a hug. My sweet boy, you've been through so much. When Aaron lets her go, she looks over at all of you with a regal smile. Thank you all for looking after my son. Your Majesty? It was no trouble. He's trouble, but we don't mind. I think that depends on the day. Hey, you're the only one growing, you know. Well, while I wish I were under better circumstances, it is nice to see part of my family again. Mother, you should know I saw Baldur. I know. Perhaps it was for the best he is not here. He didn't conduct himself as I had hoped. Neither did my husband, for that matter. Let us focus on improving this world so we can return you to the other, my little thistle. On that note, you have arrived just in time. But first, Aurenia and I need to retrieve some supplies. I believe the term I used was liberate, but Serenia likes to be delicate about it. Could you use some help, Gilma? We have only just reunited, and I would not part ways so soon if it can be helped. We should keep to a small group for safety, but a few extra hands won't hurt. Aaron, you will come with us, won't you? Of course, Mother. I'm not sure how useful I will be, but I will do my best. You are, of course, welcome to join too, Rain. There's still so much to catch up on. What are we waiting for? You pick your way through the back alleys of the Ring of Dusk, with Serena in the lead. Do you get any weird looks here, Serena? I got the impression that the elves don't usually leave the Ring of the Dawn. People around here have come to know me. I left the Ring of Dawn almost immediately after I arrived. I hated all the celebrating. Tyrell can tell you how terrible parties. It used to embarrass him. Only a little. Velier used to say I always needed a cause. When I came to the Ring of Dusk, I found it. I wish I had seen this clearly in life so I could have made a different choice. But I'm doing what I can now. The only way to begin is by beginning. It is best you did not begin back then. Our people are too set in their ways. There's nothing we can do to change them. People say that about this place too, Ginvala. You don't know what is possible until you try. Let us talk of happier things. I would like to embarrass my son further.
Kilma.
I have quite a few stories of my own, if you don't mind me sharing them, Aaron. It's fine. If anything, talking about embarrassing things I did as a child might actually improve Rain's opinion of me. I want to hear stories about the two of you. Both women laugh. It's not quite what I was expecting. I like keeping people on their toes. Well, there was the tea incident. It was only a few weeks into the alliance when I found out Arena makes her own tea. I compulsively oh my god, my brain imagines them in this case. I asked her to let me try one, forgetting that those of us raised in Undermount often have delicate senses compared to the rest of the world. I remember Tyrrell drinking nearly a gallon of milk after trying an especially spicy meat at White Tower Market. Kilma! Arena likes her tea similarly, and I was not prepared for the degree of spice in it. Ah, was it the violet Bermagot that was the problem, Mother? She gives her son a small boop on the nose. You have an excellent memory, my little thistle. Though I seem to recall you crying through your whole first cup of the stuff, insisting that you liked it. You are sworn to secrecy on all this, yes, Rain? Tyrrell? We are in the situation of mutually assured destruction, so yes. Well, at least I'm having fun. Now it's your turn. I want to hear of all your exploits. Well, Tyrrell, he does this great thing with his tongue. Wait, so no one continue. I thought you already knew them all. We know the broad strokes, but it's not as though we're always checking in to see how everything happens. That would be a true invasion of privacy. Yeah, you hear that? Anybody watching over me? Except my life's really boring, so, they probably tuned out a long time ago. Let's see, Wallace got eaten by the Drachna, visited Whimsywood, got swallowed by a whale. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the whale. Excuse me. In the elements, that's the Orcish afterlife. There's a giant whale that eats anything that doesn't belong. We evidently counted. And there's a wasteland inside its belly, and we got stuck there for a bit. It was almost a full-on murderous skeletons, too. You surely know how to handle yourselves in trouble. Suddenly, Arena holds up her hand, bringing you all to a halt. She peeks around the corner, then turns back to you all. The storefront room is up ahead. 5 guards. 1 for each of us. Or we can talk our way in. It will take them longer to notice the supplies are gone. What do you think, Rain? Why are you asking me? This is your operation. Talk. Fight. Talk. Arena smiles and beckons you and Aaron to come with her as she approaches the guards. Excuse me, who do I see about my taxes? Taxes? Oh god, we haven't seen you in a while. What's up, dude?
This isn't the village guild, lady. But it's the plus it's the afterlife. We don't have taxes.
That won't do. I need to pay mine immediately.
Oh, said no one ever.
I must speak to Her Majesty's magistrate. I heard he was in there for an inspection.
I don't see anyone. Go inside.
This is the back door, so I don't imagine you would have.
The guard examines you all for a moment, then shrugs and waits for you to pass.
Oh, did you do that? People don't like to admit when they don't understand something. It's exceedingly easy to exploit.
Which is why it's always better to have more knowledge than your enemies. Inside the storeroom, Serena and Ariania immediately start loading their bags up with items from different shelves and barrels. How are the guards not going to notice we have bags of shit? Guess we'll find out, or will we?
So what exactly are you getting here? Magical weapons work better than spectral ones, especially against Nefora's constructs. They keep some here, along with a few other odds and ends, and to trick those who get in our way.
As you're looking around, you notice a cluster of strange berries just sitting out. Any idea what these are? They are storm berries. The species died out in Morelia years ago. By eating one allows you to create a powerful whirlwind, small but strong enough to tear through a wall. You should take one, Rain. They will certainly come in handy. Why not take the whole handful? Don't mind if I do.
Never know when you're going to need a tornado in a pinch.
As you tuck the berries into your bag, Serena and Ariania duck into a side room, while Tyrell and Aaron stand guard by the door. Let's talk to Aaron, I guess. Aaron walks over to you while Tyrell goes to join Serena and Ariania. Say those names 3 times fast.
You seem really different around your mom.
It's just difficult to avoid falling into old patterns.
What do you mean?
When I was a child, all I wanted was to be good for her. I was frightened of my brother, my father, but I thought if I was good enough, maybe I could convince her to take both of us away from there.
Aaron.
Foolish dream. Wasn't as though they treated her poorly. She had no trouble putting her foot down when she needed to. Still, it feels good to see her again.
She's really nice. And I like seeing you happy. I don't think I've ever seen you smile as much.
I'm not sure about that. You and your band of misfits make me smile quite a bit.
But those are sarcastic smiles. These ones are genuine.
Glances over the doorway, his mother disappeared through a softness and expression that you rarely have seen. I suppose I've forgotten what it felt like to be happy without any complications on top of that. I must admit, it's nice. You turn as everyone else returns to the storeroom, and heavy bags over their shoulders as they head in your direction.
We've got everything, and we should move before we're discovered.
You follow Ariana's lead, and you make your way back through the dusty streets to the rebel hideout. Later that day, you all gather around the war table as Serena lays out a map of Elhalas along with a series of wooden figures. Wallace reaches forward for one.
He must be the bear. Is he your bear?
Wallace, those aren't toys, buddy. Aw, let him have one.
But how can you say no to that face, Rain?
I agree. She raises one piece into the air with a wave of her hand, and it flies into Wallace's paw as he gnaws on it happily.
Now that the winged warrior is out of the fight, we have the opportunity to act on one of your tips, Arena.
She points to a place on the map within the inner ring of the city.
My sources say that Nefara keeps a god-killing weapon stashed in one of her private vaults away from the palace. We need to steal it.
You think she expects one of the other gods to turn on her?
It's not as though it would be the first time.
And where exactly did you hear this?
I maintain a system of contacts through the city.
You're a spy master now, Mom? She gives her son a sly smile and a wink.
Does this seem credible, Bakshi?
I would not put it past her. I haven't heard any rumors of such a weapon myself, but that is likely, just as she intended.
If we get access to it, we will finally have a way to turn the tide in our favor.
I don't know. Doesn't that seem a little convenient to you? We're looking for a way to take her down, and she just happens to already have it.
Given how conceited Nefora is, she probably doesn't think anyone could use it against her. This sounds like a trap. It is possible. Nefora has been doubling the guard at the site ever since you were all killed. But I have good reason to believe the bait is real. But she'll know we're coming. That just means we need to stay alert. Oh, I wasn't imagining that you 7 would be accompanying us. Arena, Bakshi, Laura, and myself should be able to handle this. Well, so we're supposed to just sit here while you're out there putting yourself at risk? I just don't want any of you getting hurt.
We already have been hurt numerous times.
Then let me show you what we're capable of. Just watch. We're all gonna just yell his morphing time. I'm serious. Just watch. Terrell taught me to do this. What Nia can do. Why is what Nia can do in the white? Well, I mean, technically it's gray. You would think that Nia being able to do both light, dark, and mixed magic would be pretty superior, but alright. Like, it should just be equal all around. How fast I can move? Just shut up. Just Terrell. You conjure a spectral sword and run your hand along the back of the blade, wreathing it in blue flame. See? Kilma, we've fought countless creatures in the world above, and down here, we can handle this. Serena, these people Nefora is worried about. They are an asset and one we should use. You know I prefer to be in the midst of the fighting anyway. And it would be better to have a larger team at the vault if it is as well guarded as Arena. Thanks. You're right. We need to secure this weapon, no matter what, and that means I must put my attachments and emotions aside. So, what is the rest of the resistance going to do if we're stealing the weapon? Creating a sizable distraction to diminish guard presence in the area. This is the only way you'll make it through the gate to the Ring of Dawn.
What kind of distraction are we talking about here?
A riot at the border between the rings. No, that's what I'm talking about. And what about the civilians? Are you sure they won't get hurt? We have moved everyone out of the area that we can. Everyone you can, or everyone. Can we limit the risk by sheltering them at your bases? I look over the map on the table where all the resistance hideouts are marked in green. You're not using your other bases right now, so let the people who could be in danger lay low there. It'll be easier to convince folks to move if they have someplace to go. My culture, the culture of this place, is built on sacrifice. Ours and others. It is easy to forget, I think, that there is glory in living, too. Well, we technically aren't alive, so... Shh! It will be an honor to fight by your side, Kilma. Then gather your things. Today we strike back against Nefora. Once your preparations are finished, you, Arena, Serenia, Bakshi, and the rest of your party gather in an alley, waiting for Laura's distraction. Suddenly a giant crack shatters the dingy air, sending a massive firework whistling into the sky. That's the signal. Let's go. That's what I figured. Alright, without further ado, thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head down, check out a few things. Check out the pinned comment. Other than that, yeah, I don't know what really to say. I feel like it's just one, too easy, or two, Nefora is just so full of herself. It's about it. That's all I can really say. There's not that much to go on in this chapter. I mean, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts, what might happen, who, what, when, where, and why. If this book goes as far as it usually does, there's about 9 or so chapters left, give or take. So, I guess the question is, let's just look forward beyond the battle, which I'm sure we'll win. We always do. What else is new? Um, so the question is, okay, we take out the old gods. I feel like we're Kratos now. Um, if you get that reference, you get a point. Um, we take out the old gods, and then what? Okay, we get our bodies back. We go back to normal life, mortality, which now you know how. I mean, that's like going to heaven and then coming back and being like, listen, I can tell you all about the other life after you die. So listen up and I'll give you instructions on who, what, when, where, and why. Unless our memories get wiped or I don't know. It's just a bit silly. Like, is there going to be a conflict beyond this? Figuring this is book 3, correct? Like, what's beyond this? Is there going to be anything on beyond this? Is this going to be a okay? Well, that's all she wrote. Farewell, and whatever. Um, Also, I just feel like I don't know. A lot of attention to details being missed. Like, are we sure we can trust all these women? Also kind of weird. There's like no other people besides Bakshi. It's just kind of sus. Um, I don't know. I have a bunch of questions. That's about it. So that's how I feel. I have no real answers, just questions. I don't know. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below. Maybe some of you can throw a few hypotheses my way or whatnot. But, thanks for watching. Catch you all later in the next video. Peace out.